Hi Leo, welcome to Divination by Rain and Moon, as well as your June 2015 astrological forecast. So we begin the month on June 2nd with a full moon at 11 degrees Sagittarius at 11:19 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now this falls in your fifth house of creativity, children, gambling, hobbies, other types of amusement. And it seems to me that if you're an artist, this is a great energy to wrap up a project that you've been working on, or to even conceive of a project, because it's a very fertile time. And it's actually literally fertile for children on a physical level, because the full moon is that sort of energy. I think it'll be a very lighthearted time compared to our last full moon in the sign of Scorpio, which was rather heavy and wrought with emotion. One heads up, though, occurring around late afternoon, early evening, is a Moon-Mars opposition, which can spark road rage because you have the signs Gemini and Sagittarius involved in this opposition, and both of those signs tend towards snark when they are angry. And you can just have a few words thrown around, and before you know it, something more serious occurs. And with the full moon, it's always wise to lay low because there can be a lot of erratic behavior. I've certainly witnessed that myself. Some of it is just goofy, but some of it can be, dangerous. So you have to be careful not to, throw gasoline on a fire. But there's a great energy later on the full moon night where the moon in Sagittarius is trining Jupiter in your sign. So this is very auspicious for you. I would definitely use this time to do some visualization because you could really plant some wonderful seeds for the future. Okay, so on June 5th, we have Venus going into your sign from Cancer, and that will be in your first house. So you will start to look marvelous, and people will just be attracted to you. Your aura will just get a little extra oomph. You might feel the urge to gussy yourself up a little bit, but whether you do or not, you still will have that glow about you. So Mercury has been retrograding in the sign of Gemini, and this has been in your 11th house. You have a lot of activity in your 11th house, Leo, this month. And what this means is that the 11th house deals with hopes and wishes, and it opposes your natural house, which is the 5th house of creativity and children and projects that you love, amusements and stuff. So when you have that polarity, what it means is that the 11th house is more about taking those things that you love to do and sharing them with the world. And how it differs with the 10th house of career is that it has a more idealistic feel to it. A lot of times people are in careers, but they're not really passionate about what they're doing as their source of income. And they may have gotten into a certain career because there were lots of opportunities in that field, or it makes a lot of money, but they may have no passion whatsoever in doing it. They may have done it to please a parent. What this month is asking of you is to really reflect, especially with this Mercury being in retrograde for the first 11 days of June. really go over what it is that you want to do. And it doesn't matter if you are quote unquote retired. That has nothing to do with what you're here to do. The beauty part about this life is that we call the shots. We can do what we want to do, but a lot of people hold themselves back. But they're just repeating memes that were taught to them sometimes, but have no real relevance in their lives. So this is a time to break through some of that programming and really get straight on what you want. And if your career is not matching up to your ideals, then you need to think about ways that you can bring these two together. So during the Mercury retrograde, review that area of your life. So Mars in your 11th house for the first 3 weeks of the month may be urging you to act upon these musings about bringing your passions into reality. And then on the 24th of the month, it will go into the sign of Cancer, and that's your 12th house. Now, the 12th house is this part that is the unconscious. It's very, it's Pisces house, Neptune's house, very nebulous, but very spiritual on a grand scale. And so I would say with Mars there, Mars is such an active planet, and this is such a meditative room in your house of astrology, that what I would do is, maybe start some kind of yoga program or Tai Chi or something that can utilize the physical and yet honor the spiritual and really activate the spiritual, because you will be having the sun going into this 12th house as well. And this will really kind of illuminate stuff that maybe you've been hiding from yourself that is, of an emotional nature. And Leo's an emotional sign, so it's not that you're uncomfortable with expressing emotion, but whether you are or aren't, it's still a time in which, the ghosts that are going bump in the night kind of, reveal themselves more in a more obvious fashion. So you want to be as spiritually prepared as possible, and maybe this Mars going into the 12th house can give you the impetus to start some kind of meditation, especially that involves being physically active, maybe even a walking meditation. I was saying this to Gemini as well, because Gemini is a very active kind of a sign. I would suggest that with you as well. Maybe some kind of an active way to still your mind, which seems like a contradiction in terms, but sometimes it can be very helpful when there's a lot of energy going in there and you don't know what to do with it. So, you have had Jupiter in your own sign for this past year. And I don't know how it has manifested for some of you. If you are a later degree Leo, it hasn't even crossed the threshold into your first house. You may have had it in your 12th house. And then it was more of a subtle influence and a spiritual influence rather than a tangible one in the first house. But, of course, Jupiter did go retrograde and it went direct, and now it is gaining strength. And by the time that June ends, it will be pretty much where it was before the retrograde. And that is a significant shift because then it will start advancing and we will feel it all the more, I think. So for you guys, having it in your first house not only is a new 12-year cycle, but it also makes your image something of a lucky thing for you. So obviously, if you are involved in PR or if you're an actor, if you're something that being in the public eye, brings you blessings from the universe, then that would directly connect to this energy. But for other people, it may be just that, you come across in such a pleasing way that your very presence attracts things to you. And it's just supposed to be a very lucky time. And also, when it goes into your second house, starting in August, that will be a very good money time. So this is very wonderful for Leos and just another great energy in the month of June. So Saturn has been creeping into your fifth house and is going to be retrograding back into Scorpio on the 14th. And this will be in your fourth house. When Saturn goes back into the sign, you will be revisiting issues based upon where you live and whether or not it's still a fit for you in terms of how you view yourself at this time. And then on the 16th, we have a new moon at 25 degrees Gemini at 9:05 a.m. And there's that 11th house again activated. And this is definitely a time to look at the issues surrounding what you want to do that is your passion in life and really set intentions in this area for the coming year, because this is going to be something that you can bring into manifestation, especially when the new moon is in the 12th house next month. You can plant the psychic seeds to be birthed in a couple of months. So Leo, I hope you enjoyed your astrological reading, and stay tuned. I will be releasing a tarot reading for this month later on. Take care. Bye.